सञ्जय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत्.
The sun rose blood red over Kurukshetra. The morning breeze, usually cool and calm, now whispered the scent of war. Flags fluttered violently, and the ground trembled under the weight of chariots being drawn into formation. Conches blared in the distance, horses neighed, and the clank of metal filled the air. King Duryodhana, standing tall on his grand chariot, narrowed his eyes as he gazed across the battlefield. Before him stood the Pandava army, formidable, disciplined, and ready. They looked like a wall of iron, a tide of resolve led by the mightiest of warriors. Bhima, Arjuna, and that cursed Drishtadhyumna, Duryodhana muttered, jaw clenched. He turned abruptly. Take me to Acharya Drona. Now he ordered the charioteer. The chariot moved swiftly through the Kaurava ranks. Soldiers paused, saluting the king, but Duryodhana barely acknowledged them. His brows were furrowed, his heart racing not with fear, he told himself, but with urgency. And yet, beneath the armor and arrogance, something tugged at him. Was it doubt? No, he would not allow it. Drona stood alone, near the center of the formation, his long beard flowing in the breeze. He was adjusting his bow, murmuring Vedic hymns softly. His eyes, though aged, were sharp, watchful of every soldier, every horse, every formation being built. His mind was a steel trap, cold, focused, unshaken. Duryodhana climbed down from his chariot and approached on foot. Acharya, he said, voice respectful but edged with urgency. Drona turned slowly. You have come to me, Duryodhana, at this hour? I had to, Duryodhana said. Look there, Acharya, look at their formation. Drona's eyes followed the gesture. Vajra Vyuha, he whispered. Clever Drishtadhyumna. I need your guidance. They are prepared for everything, Duryodhana said. We must counter it, and only you can lead this. Drona paused. You fear them? Duryodhana flinched. I don't fear them. I respect their preparation. This is not some village skirmish. This is war between fate and resolve. I want victory. Drona studied him. And at what cost? Duryodhana's eyes burned. At any cost. Later that afternoon, Duryodhana returned to his royal tent, the largest in the Kaurava camp. He threw off his helmet, his face drenched in sweat, not from heat but from restlessness. He paced. Their line is too strong. Bhima will crush our left flank if unchecked. Arjuna, Duryodhana clenched his fist. Why couldn't he just stay in exile forever? From the shadows, Karna stepped out, arms folded. You went to Drona, he said. Duryodhana nodded. Yes, I had to. We cannot underestimate them. Karna's lips curled into a smirk. You went as a king, but did you feel like one? Duryodhana paused. What do you mean? You're shaken, Karna said. The man who once laughed during the dice game now trembles before an army of exiles. Duryodhana's eyes darkened. Watch your words, Radhya. I say them because I stand with you. Karna stepped closer. But know this, Duryodhana, fear will rot your strategy. You are the king of Hastinapur. Lead like one. I have the right to be cautious, Duryodhana snapped. They've gathered gods on their side. Krishna drives Arjuna's chariot. Karna smiled faintly. Then let them have gods. We will answer with fury. Drona sat in his own tent, his old hands rubbing the string of his bow. Ashwathama entered quietly. Father, he said. Drona looked up. Yes, my son. You spoke with Duryodhana? I did. He seemed unsettled. Drona nodded. He island and rightly so. Ashwathama frowned. Do you doubt him? I doubt what he fights for, Drona whispered. He fights for power, not dharma. Yet you fight on his side. Drona sighed deeply. I owe him. I eat from his table. And yet, in my heart, Arjuna, Bhima, they are my disciples. I trained them. Can a teacher ever raise a sword to his own children? Ashwathama knelt beside him. The world burns, father. No one is untouched. Duty has many faces. Drona closed his eyes. So it does. Night fell like a black veil. In the Kaurava camp, the fires burned high, but peace did not visit the minds of its leaders. Duryodhana walked alone through the camp. He saw Shakuni playing dice with two soldiers. Still gambling? Duryodhana asked, sneering. Shakuni grinned. Gambling never ends, dear nephew. Only the stakes change. You think this is a game? Duryodhana snapped. Shakuni rose, brushing dust from his cloak. Everything is a game, Duryodhana. Life, power, war. You just need to know when to bluff. Krishna is not someone you bluff. Then don't, Shakuni said. Distract him. Distract Arjuna. You have warriors. Use them. Duryodhana's lips thinned. I will. Tomorrow, Bhishma leads the charge. Let the heavens bear witness. That same night, Yudhishthira sat with Arjuna in the Pandava camp. You think he's afraid? Arjuna asked. Duryodhana? Never, Yudhishthira replied. But he's not calm either. He fights with fire, not focus. Arjuna stared into the fire. Drona will be in their front. You know what that means. Yudhishthira sighed. Yes, we must fight the man who once blessed us with his hand on our heads. I don't want to raise my bow against him. But you must, not for hatred, for dharma. Arjuna closed his eyes. So many lines crossed. Where does it end? Krishna's voice echoed from behind them. It ends where dharma wins. They turned. Krishna smiled gently, and dharma wins when warriors walk the path of truth without fear. Dawn broke again, golden light sweeping across Kurukshetra. The Kaurava army stood in formation, rows upon rows of soldiers, elephants, horses, and chariots. Duryodhana stood at the front with Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and others by his side. He looked once more across the field, and there they were, the Pandavas. Drishtadhyumna stood at the front, his armor polished, his sword ready. Bhima cracked his knuckles. Arjuna stood silently in his chariot, Krishna beside him. The earth stood still. Duryodhana's heart pounded. His eyes met Arjuna's from across the field. No words were spoken, but something passed between them. Not hatred, not fear, recognition of two men bound to destroy what they once loved. Back in his chariot, Duryodhana raised his spear. He looked at Drona and said, Acharya, the time has come. Drona bowed slightly. Duryodhana whispered, Make this war ours. Drona turned, raised his bow, and the first arrow flew into the sky. A signal, a storm. Battle had begun. But inside Duryodhana, the storm raged differently. He had the army. He had the warriors. But did he have peace? Number? And he never would. Not until everything was ashes. And so the war began. The holy land of Kurukshetra soaked with blood, screams, and steel. But above all, something else. A question. What is dharma? What is victory? And who really wins a war? Duryodhana fought without asking. Arjuna fought only after he asked. And Krishna? He watched them all, guiding, waiting for the world to finally understand that the battlefield lies not in the soil but in the soul. The story continues in the next verse.